Hi there, I'm back. I'm fully aware that it's been forever. I actually don't even remember the exact date of the last time I came on here. But I'm back. I promise I had good reasons to be gone. And now that I'm back, I have multiple things planned for the future. But if you are brand new here or if you've forgotten me, understandably, my name is Connor. You can find me at Calling for Orpheus on Ravelry or Connor is Creating on Blue Sky. And this is my channel where I talk about knitting. So, first of all, before I get into everything and like where I've been and what I've finished and what I've not finished, there will be timestamps below, and also on the like scrub bar. Like if you either on your TV or on your computer or on your phone, if you grab the little red thing and you scrub it, you will see like divided chapters where all of the different topics I'm going to talk about are given their own section. So if you don't care about one thing, like you don't care about where I've been, or you don't care about what I've finished, or you specifically want to see what I finished, or you specifically want to skip to my whips, or you want to skip all the way to the end with acquisitions and whatever, you can do that. So, where have I been? I think my last podcast was like end of March, sometime in March, mid-March, sometime in March. I think it was sometime in March. And in April was a really, really stressful month for me. It was terrible. And then April was so bad, I was just stress knitting all the time. And I gave myself quite severe tendonitis. And I could not knit or do really anything for a good couple of weeks. I didn't knit for I think about a month, really. Like I would sit down and knit to sort of like work my fingers out for a minute at a time and then not do it again for weeks. So I wasn't knitting. And you might, and like I had done a lot of knitting, so you might think, well, that would have been a good time to podcast. But like, I don't want to talk about knitting when I'm grumpy because I can't knit. And then in June, I frankly just didn't want to do anything. I just like wasn't in the mood. I don't know why. I just didn't want to come on. And then in July, I was gone. I was just not home. So I'm finally here. It is August the 2nd today, or the 3rd today. Um, and as you can see, I've got a couple of things behind me. I actually finished one other thing that's not here, and then I have a good couple of whips and lots of plans to share with you. So let's get into it. I'm gonna do this in chronological order, as I normally do, with these. So these are some socks that I knit. This is I don't know if I should call it self-drafted, because I'm writing a pattern for it. But I started these at the end of March, the start of April, kind of, with the intention to write up a pattern that would support the Trevor Project. Because in case you don't know, maybe you're not American or you're just like out of the loop, You Know Who decided to defund the LGBT section, I guess, of the National Suicide Hotline, and the Trevor Project is taking on that burden now. And so I wanted to do a little charity pattern to support them, but like, you know, May, June were just not a good time for me to release it. And granted, like they will be providing that service all year round, right? So it's not specifically something that I have to do like around Pride Month or whatever. But that was the intention. But since I didn't get to do that, I am still planning on releasing this pattern. They're different. The socks are different. And I've written most of the pattern actually. Like it's most of the way done. And I just have to take pictures of these and clean up the pattern, and then it'll be good to go. But the way that I was planning on releasing the pattern is to be the most convenient, like legally and what is the word? Legally and fiscally. The way that I would do it is whoever wants the pattern, would independently donate to the organization, and then you would email me with proof that you donated, and I would gift you a free copy of the pattern, just as gratitude for supporting this cause that I care about. And then I would probably release it for free for everybody later on the line after I close that. Because of that, I would need to be like on my emails a lot, and I just was not prepared for that for most of this like 4-month period. And I'm still waiting for a time that I will be. It'll hopefully be relatively soon, but yeah, that's the plan there. I don't even remember what yarn I used for this. I know that these were Uni Merino minis. Couldn't tell you what colors they are. It'll be in the pattern though when it comes out. I've got it all written in there. And then this, I know the main color. This is the same main color that I used for my, what is it called? My Taranika sweater, if you remember that. It's Passion Yarns Cherish. The colorway is My Heart Beats Your Name. And these are all from Craftily Dyed Yarn. They're various sock colorways. This is Blue Skies. This is, I think it's just called Hot Pink or Fuchsia. And then this one came in a fade set, so it doesn't really have an individual colorway name. But yeah. They're really cute. I'm really happy with them. And the pattern has a ton of sizes, and I worked really hard to make it as well written as possible. So I'm excited for that, and I hope that that can come out relatively soon. The next thing. The next thing I don't have with me. The next thing is a gift knit that I made for my friend Alicia, because she bought for me a pattern that I wanted, and as thanks, I knit her some sock. I'll put a picture here because I did take a picture. It's pink yarn. It's the same pink that I used here, and then the contrast color is also Craftily Dyed Yarn Classic Sock. The colorway is just khaki. I think the colorway is khaki, and the pattern that I used is a very heavily modified version of the very first chart in Summer Lee's original for 2024 Colorwork Cuff Club pattern set. So, and I say original because she's coming out with one for 2025 and 2026, which is very exciting. So yeah, that's all. I took the chart and I modified it very slightly to have shorter floats, and then I just repeated it through the whole sock. So it'll be up there. Okay, next thing. I'm really unhappy with this. This is my, you might actually remember this because this would have shown up on the channel last year when I started it. But this is my second ever Friday tee by Petite Knit. I knit this with a sport weight yarn. This is Juniper Moon Farm is the brand of both yarns. The green is Summer Solstice and the white is Zoe. So the Summer Solstice colorway is Baby's Breath. The Zoe colorway is White Pepper. I'm really unhappy with this. I'm not even gonna try it on because I'm so displeased with how it turned out. It looks fine. The color looks really drab on camera. It's much brighter in person. I wonder if I can change make my light blue, if that'll help. Does that help? I think that maybe helps a little bit. The color is much nicer, much brighter in person. But the reason why I don't like this is the fabric is awful. It is so itchy, and I think like it's a linen blend, and I normally like linen, but I also typically wear linen just in stockinette fabric. The linen garments that I've knit before were just plain stockinette, so I think with this texture, let me see if I can, I'm gonna take this off the hanger and try to more easily show you what the inside looks like. So you can see all of that texture, and this is a broken rib, all of that texture in a quite rough fiber. It just does not feel good at all, and I have very sensitive skins. It just doesn't feel good at all, and that combined with the way that I just didn't end up liking the way that this fits. I find my first Friday tee I knit out of a yarn that doesn't exist anymore. It's Hobbii Friends Cotton, Rainbow Cotton 8/4. Now it's Friends Cotton. It's a little bit different. I don't like it as quite as much now. But it was Rainbow Cotton 8/4, and it was just a fingering weight kitchen cotton, and I really liked how it turned out. And this is much drapier, and because of that and the texture, it's just right open. The neckline has gotten huge. It got bigger than I wanted it to be. It's really drapey, which you would normally consider a good thing, but for this garment I did not want, and I just don't like how it sits on me. I don't like how it fits, and that combined with the really rough feeling of the yarn on my skin, I've not worn this once. I will put it on and go and take it off immediately. I've not worn this once out, and I'm probably going to offhand this. Is that the word? Hand off? Hand this off? I'm probably gonna hand this off to someone else. There is finally someone in my knitting group who I am basically the same size as, or basically the same height, so I might just ask her if she wants this, because I don't want to unravel this. So I might just ask if she wants it and hand it off to her. But yeah, that's my Friday tee. Very disappointing, because I was so excited about it, and yeah. I should have never blocked it, to be honest with you, because it fit me really nicely before I blocked it. But then, like, I have to wash it. You know, I have to wash it at some point. So, I don't know. I even put it in the dryer and it just didn't fix it. So, that's that. I'm displeased with it. And then, finally, we have something that I am really pleased with. And this is something that I started and finished off podcast. Let me try and put it on a hanger. This is just a basic self-drafted raglan sweater that I knit out of the Barocco Remix Light that my boyfriend got me for Valentine's Day. So the colorway is Periwinkle, and you guys know I love this yarn. This is my favorite summer yarn by leaps and bounds. Like, just look at the texture. I love how, like, slubby and textured it is, and how it looks. It looks like it looks like a rustic wool, but it's not. It's it's a, I have it actually extra in here. Hold on, I don't want to show you the color because that's a surprise for later. But it is nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, and linen. And I think all of those fibers together, all of those fibers have a lot of downsides, but when you put them together in this yarn, it's like all of the best parts are combined, and all of the worst parts are mitigated by each other's different traits. I just love this yarn so much. And I originally, you would have seen in my last podcast, I was knitting an anchor sweater out of this yarn, and I got most of the way through it. I finished the body, finished the yoke, obviously finished the body, and I got most of the way through one sleeve. I think it was about this far through the sleeve, and I was trying it on over and over and over again. I was trying it on, and I just hated it. I just didn't like how it looked on me at all, and I'm not sure why, because I normally really love a circular yoke, and that ribbed yoke I think is really nice looking, but I don't know, maybe it was the yarn choice, maybe the yarn just didn't work with it that well, but it had this strange A-line shape that I didn't like. The difference between the yoke and the body was quite strange. Because of the ribbing, it caused a little bit of like a ripple and then this like A-line effect, and it just looked quite strange, and I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. And the other thing is, with how textured this yarn is, the rib texture, you could see it and you could tell that it was a different texture, but you couldn't really make out the little nuances of the texture of the different tiers of ribbing, and it just didn't look very good. And so I unraveled it, and I just kind of started this randomly. And as much as I don't like knitting plain stockinette, I do think that plain stockinette is the move with this yarn, because it looks so nice. It is a beautiful drape. It's very comfortable. The neckline turned out a little bit wide, but I do like it. So there's that. And I can try this on for you. Hold on. Okay, now I didn't even want to try on the Friday tee because it was so itchy, but this one I really enjoy. I actually wore this. Now, I didn't wear it out, as in I went out and I did things, but I did wear it outside, and it was 90 degrees out, and I actually felt fine in this. So, yeah, here it is. It's a really nice, like, gray, bluey purple. There's the sleeve. You might find some, like, ends that I did weave in, but have come undone. That's kind of the one thing about this yarn, is it is still, a plant fiber blend, and sometimes things slip. But yeah, I really like it. It turned out quite oversized. I knit this on 4mm needles, and the final stitch count was 240, and I have a 38-ish inch chest circumference. So it's got, like, there's my chest, and it's got a lot of ease, but I really like that. I think especially for a like warmer weather or transitional type of garment, it works really well. I like the light color. It's really nice. Again, the only thing that I think is a little is the neckline did turn out quite wide, and I unfortunately started from the neckline and then I immediately did short rows, so this would not be that easy for me to undo and fix. But I can live with it. And again, for a transitional garment I'm going to be wearing in warmer weather, it's fine. The sweater is comfortable. Ooh, I got a stain on my sleeve. The sweater is comfortable, but I need to shut myself up at some point. So, yeah, I'm very, very pleased with that sweater. I do actually have multiple other quantities of, I have 3, I think, quantities of Remix Light. 2 for a sweater and 1 for a t-shirt, because I just like it so much. I like it so much more than just knitting with like a 100% cotton or a cotton linen blend, whatever. I find those really, really dense, really heavy, and frankly, in the weather that I live in, which in the summers here, it can absolutely get to 100 degrees or more, but it typically sticks around the 90s with like 100% humidity. It's miserable, and those like very heavy like bamboos and cottons, whatever, they just don't feel very nice for me. So this, while it has those synthetic fibers that people consider kind of warming, I really don't mind it at all, because it makes the fact that it's so lofty. I used less than 300 grams to knit this. I would have to actually weigh it to tell you, but I did not use very much yarn, and the last sweater that I knit in this, which was my Weekender Crew, like you would have seen in my last video, um, that weighs like 200 something grams. It's wonderful, and it's a full-size sweater. I love this yarn so much. It's controversial, but I love it. Anyway, now we can finally get into the whips. I'm sorry, that took forever. It's been 15 minutes. This is definitely going to be like an hour-long video, just so you know. Now, where to begin? Chronologically. I have something interesting to show you. So, if you may recall, last autumn, one of my last knits of the year, actually, I think I finished it in November, was the Halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter. And it did not turn out very well for me, which is a shame, because I really do like the design of that sweater. And it's quite iconic. I think it's sort of like the more unisex version of a ranunculus, where like everyone has made one. And with the DK weight, the yoke, in case you didn't see that video, the yoke free was coming down all the way to here, all the way to this is the small of my waist. And then the sleeves turned out really skinny, and it was like wearing a straight jacket. It just did not fit me as it was supposed to fit. And it's partially because of the way the sweater was designed. I do think it's supposed to be kind of like a swan show, but I do think it was a little excessive on the design front. But also, a significant part of that was just my own differences in gauge, and an issue with what I expected my gauge to block out to versus what it actually blocked out to. And I had to just give that sweater away to someone else because it just didn't fit me. But it was so beautiful, I didn't want to unravel it, because it did. I'll put a picture. It did turn out really, really beautiful. But I was not going to wear it. It fit me terribly. It was not comfortable for me at all. And I have so many other beautiful sweaters that fit me really well, that I would just always rather wear. But I still love the design, and I still owned the pattern. So, in the spring, when I received this yarn, and by received I mean I bought it, and then it came in the mail. This yarn, the skein does not look so good, but this is Sorella cashmere sock, and the colorway is the green light. It's this nice like clover green. It's not a color that I normally knit with, but I think it's a really good color for me. When it came to me, I realized that I had some sock yarn from a previous project. Also, I'll put that up. I've unraveled this because it didn't fit me properly. It also didn't fit me properly. And I realized that this yarn and this yarn went really well together, and I wanted to use them together, and I was like, okay, what colorwork pattern do I already own? Because I know that I already own loads of colorwork patterns. And I settled on the Halibut sweater. So here it is. I was a little bit nervous at first. Oh my gosh, look at that. I was a little bit nervous at first. The green on brown kind of color palette would look sort of Bass Pro Shops-y, but I don't think it does. I think it looks really pretty. It's really, 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 really pretty. So I started this in the like late spring, early summer. I want to say it was like May probably that I started this. This was what gave me tendonitis, by the way. Like the 6 socks, the 3 different pairs of socks that were color worked in on little needles, that like started it, but this is what put the last nail in the coffin for me, because I was working on this day and night for hours and hours and hours, and this, I don't like being like a hater. This isn't me being a hater. This is just a genuine like word of warning. I don't know how effectively the original colorwork chart was designed. I do think that it was one of Caitlin's earlier patterns, and there are some floats in this that are so long. That it did not need to be that long. Like there's a difference between this is long and there's nothing you can do about it, like that's just how it has to look, and this is long and we could have done something different, and this is a like, oh my god, these are so long and they didn't have to be kind of situation that I think could have been edited down a little and fixed, and they do make this, to me, unpleasant to knit a little bit. But also it's so pretty that it's kind of like, okay, because it's not that nice to knit and it's beautiful, I want it done as soon as possible. So I was knitting on this like crazy, and it just destroyed my hands. And I have since taken a giant break because I think it made me mad. And I was like, now that the yoke is done and I'm onto the boring part, I don't care anymore. I'm mad at this project. So it's just been kind of sitting. This is really not a high priority project for me right now, especially because this is so warm. And it's knitted a pretty dense gauge. I think this I'm doing 3 or 3.25 millimeter needles, which is a US 2.5 or a US 3. So it's pretty tight. It's gonna be pretty warm. It's also got cashmere in it. Cashmere and wool is not always the warmest, but it can be quite cozy because it's so fluffy. And yeah, so it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. I'm not unraveling this. I mean, this is stunning. But I also don't really want to knit on it. So I might not knit on it until like September or October, around the time when I would actually be wearing something like this. But I did want to still show it off because it is just stunning. And I knit, the way that I did this, I'm talking so much. What, how? 21 minutes. It's been like 6 minutes, but that's not that long. That's not that long. The way that I did it was I just, I took a look at the end of the pattern to see what the resulting body circumference stitch counts would be for every size, and I chose one that I knew would be compatible with my usual fingering weight gauge. That's all I did. I picked that size, and then I just followed the instructions for that size. That's it. I may have made the neckline a little bit tighter, and I think the like one major modification that I did was that I made the neckline tighter, and then I just after the ribbing was finished, I increased out to the number of stitches at the patterns that I should start with, and then I just followed the instructions from there. So quite easy, and the yoke turned out the perfect depth, like I knew it would. I'm so pleased with this. So I would say, actually, so you gotta show it off one more time. If you love the halibut pattern, but you're short, maybe like I'm very short, and I also sometimes I have a quite tall row gauge. So if you know that one of those two things or both of those things are true for you, and you just don't think the halibut's going to fit you properly, just try it in fingering weight. It turns out beautiful. It's so pretty. So that's all I can recommend for you. I love it. And that's that. Next thing. I should tell you what. Oh my god! I didn't even tell you what the contrast color yarn. The contrast color yarn is, you cannot get this anymore, but this is Gaddy Yarn Co. Tabby Sock in the limited edition colorway Dean Winchester. I bought it like 2 years ago in January, and Gaddy Yarn Co. is no longer dying, but it's like my favorite. It's one of my favorite hand-dyed colorways of all time. So that's that. Anyway, next thing chronologically, I think is this. I have another color work. All of these are color work, I think. There's only one that's not in Tarja, but they're all, or I'm sorry, not in Tarja, Fair Isle, but they're all color work. So this, when I said earlier that my friend Alicia bought me a knitting pattern, and I made her some socks as a gift. This is the knitting pattern I was talking about. Look at it! It's so cute. These are they're little crusty white dogs. Look, look how cute! Okay, so this pattern is the Hundreds of Dogs sweater by Sungmi Lee. Picture. It's so cute. It's so cute. It is. Now, some of you are going to hear the gauge on this and have a heart attack. So, brace yourself. This is knit on 2.5 and 3 millimeter needles. The color work is done on 3 millimeter needles, the body color work. So, the ribbing is 2.5s, this is 3. There is no stockinette in this whole piece, it is just color work. All over. It's a drop shoulder as well, which means I'm also going to have to do it flat. So it's a labor of love, and all of that, and my gauge, which is, let me measure it. I'm going to measure it right here live. This is my tape measure. My gauge to the inch is, 3 inches. I have about, it's a full repeat. So that's 22 stitches in 3 inches, which is small. That's 22 in 3 inches. In 4, that's 22, 30 something in 4 inches. And my gauge is bigger than the pattern prescribes. And the designer knit multiple samples. Like, what? What? But I just love it. It's super cute. And my body circumference right now, normally, to give you some context, with a fingering weight sweater, even on very small needles, like a 3 millimeter, which is a US 2.5, even for that kind of size, I would usually go with in the range of 260 to 280 stitches. This is 330. It's so big. It's so big. It's so many stitches. And I cast this on, I must have cast this on in April or May. Oopsie. Oh no, I lost a stitch holder. No, I just dropped stitches. No. Okay, hold on. I need to pause to fix this. Okay, I fixed it. I fixed it. My little Kuromi stitch stopper fell off, but it's a ton of stitches. It's a labor of love. And I cast this on months ago. I have a spreadsheet that I can actually check. I might put the date in that I actually cast this on. But it was a while ago, and I'm just now on the third round of dogs, and there's going to be, for my size, either 5 or 6. I am going to have to do some modifications because the original pattern is not it's not very size inclusive, or size or shape inclusive. And granted, it was as far as I'm aware, made by a relatively small designer, at least small on Ravelry. They're prolific. They've put out a lot of patterns, but they don't seem to get a lot of spotlight on Ravelry. So they may be very popular on a different platform, but on Ravelry they do seem quite small. And they're also a Korean designer, and Korean sizes are smaller than American sizes typically when we talk about commercial clothing. So it goes from an extra small to a 2XL, but the 2XL is not that big. I was like, would I call that a 2XL? I can't recall exactly what the measurements were for that size, but I remember them being like, that seems a little bit small to me. And the main issue with this pattern and the sizing of it is not even that there is sort of a small range of sizes. It is the arm side. The arm side is tiny. Like, for every size, it's going to give you like a 12-inch armhole. And I tried to measure my arms. My bicep is 20 inches. Like, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work for me. And not only that, like, it's 20 inches, but I also I want some extra depth in the arm side. I don't want the sweater right from my armpit. And even on the women who had modeled it, it seemed like it was right up in the armpit. So I am modifying that just to so the yoke is going to be larger and deeper, meaning I'm going to be doing fewer body repeats. So yeah, I think I'm either going to do 5 or 6 of these rows of dogs on the body, and then either 4 or 5 rounds of dogs on the yoke. And I think in the original it's 3, something like that. So yeah, I have no idea how long this is going to take me. I'm knitting it out of it's both Knitting for Olive yarns. Oops, this skein has been through a lot. Okay. It's knitting just the classic merino from Knitting for Olive. This is the colorway Lavender Blue, and this is the colorway Limestone? It's either Limestone or Nordic Beach, but I believe it is Limestone. There it is. And yeah, it's beautiful. This yarn is really soft. Despite being non-superwash, this yarn is super soft. It's lofty. I like it. The fabric has... You can't see it from there. The fabric actually has some stretch to it, which is surprising to me. And I'm really excited for this. I have no idea how long it's going to take me. But I'm very pleased with it. I'm very excited for it. And there's also going to be a little bit of intarsia, I think, because in the original there's sort of the Princess Diana sheep sweater. One of the dogs is a different color, and I have some dark navy yarn in the same yarn, but in a very dark navy color, and I'm planning on doing that somewhere on the chest. So yeah, that's that. Next thing chronologically is a little scrap sweater that I'm making that I'm a little bit nervous about, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous. So this is... I just shown you my Friday tee, and when I finished my Friday tee, I was actually kind of sad because I really, really liked doing the broken rib. I think my hanger for this one. I really liked doing the broken rib, and I was kind of sad for it to be over. But I had recalled seeing this, this Friday sweater. I want to say it was from Tiny Human Knits. So beautiful. She knitted, I think, a year or 2 ago, and it's this beige sweater. I'll have it up on screen. It's this beige sweater with all these different colors of stripes, as opposed to the original Friday tee, or the Friday sweater, which is just one main color, one contrast color. She did one very neutral main color, and then all of these different really, really fun colored stripes in her usual palette. And I remember seeing that, and it's just lived in my head rent-free for the longest time. It's been so long that I've just sat and daydreamed about that sweater. And I was like, I have this yarn. This is I don't like these donut skeins. They get so sad. But this is Knit Picks Gossy in the colorway Chance of Rain. And this is a it's a non-superwash merino and cotton blend, and it's wonderful. I really love it. Or it's not cotton, it's Cupro, which is made from cotton. To my understanding, it's like Cupro is to cotton what rayon is to bamboo, or what viscose is to bamboo, something kind of like that. It's like it's not like just cotton spun into something. It's like it's processed in a specific way, but it's made from cotton, so I'm calling it cotton. And I had this because they cotton and wool blend or cotton and merino blend. I knew that I had a bunch of yarns in my stash that would be compatible with it. They were either a cotton blend or a merino blend or both. So I just got a bunch of scrap yarns, and the color palette I've chosen has been very controversial, honestly. It's proved controversial amongst my knitter friends, but I could not be more pleased with it. And here it is. This is I'm calling it my Sesame Street sweater because it's like Sesame Street. It's like Big Bird and Grover and Elmo and Oscar the Grouch. You can't see, but there's green here. I promise that one's green. So yeah, I just think it's so cute. And I was very nervous because of the way that my Friday tee turned out after I blocked it, because the way that it just splooted, for lack of a better word. And it just lost all of its structure, all of its integrity, and just kind of... I did block this already. I have already blocked the yoke. I blocked the yoke before I split for the sleeves just to make sure that I had an appropriate stitch count, and the fabric seems close to unchanged between blocked and pre-blocked. It's like it's a little bit softer, but other than that, it's not very different. But yeah, it's gonna be a sweater, full length, and hopefully have like a nice transitional type piece because it's a merino and plant fiber blend. Yeah, and the various colors that I've used. This is all just from my stash, so I don't know what all of these are, but some of them I do know. This one I know is an undyed merino cotton blend. It's a sport weight. Oh, this is a sport weight yarn, by the way. Sport weight merino cotton blend. This is a sport weight. This is from Sorella. This is Sorella Classic Sport in the colorway Joshua Tree. I know that. You cannot get this anymore because this was her second Tony Lipsy collection. This is another one you can't get anymore. This is leftovers from my original Friday tee. So it is Hobie Rainbow Cotton 8-4, the colorway dark teal. This is from Etsy. This is just some, I think it's like a drop shipping situation where like they bought the yarn from Alibaba and then put their own label on it, honestly. But I do like the yarn, actually. It's a cotton and acrylic blend in a sport weight, just in a bright red color. And then this last one, it's a shame that you can't see it on camera. This last color, this is from Paisley Knits Song of Achilles collection, which it was only 2 colors, but this was the tonal Song of Achilles colorway, which I took the label off of, and I actually don't remember the name of. I don't remember the name of this one, but it is the tonal Song of Achilles colorway, and it's just a merino sock yarn. So yeah, I did modify this a little bit. I think I did the same thing as the halibut sweater, where I knew that the smallest size of the necklines prescribed in the pattern was going to be too big in this thicker yarn, so I think I just kind of did my own stitch count, and then I modified it a little bit, and then I took the way that they divided the stitches, and I just like altered it slightly to make the body bigger and the sleeves smaller, and I modified it, but I did use the original pattern as a jumping off point. I think I used it as a jumping off point, but I don't think I used any of the stitch counts correctly. So anyway, there it is. This is a different, even the raglan seam is a different stitch count. I just did my own thing. The distance between stitches I think is like 10 or 12, and the pattern tells you to do 6, I think. Because I just like the bigger striped look. But yeah, that's that. I'm very pleased with it. I love the bright, fun colors. I just love it. I know that it's going to be really great to wear in the fall, because like it just reminds me, even though I don't start school in the fall, like I do school kind of year round until I'm going to graduate, it just reminds me like back to school colors. I don't mind saying that. Anyway, I think there's only one thing left. And it's only been 35 minutes. We've actually made I'm going to fix this while I gap. We've made really good time today, which is surprising to me because of how much stuff I have. Oh my god, okay, I got it. That was scary. So this is a very special sweater because it is my birthday sweater. And it is not my birthday sweater as in I'm going to wear it to my birthday. It is my birthday sweater as in on my birthday, which was about 2 weeks ago, I bought the yarn and cast on this sweater. So here it is. You can't... That's a car. Sorry, I was like, is that thunder? That's someone's car. Here you go. Oh, look at it. So this sweater is, oh, this is Pink Velvet. It's Pink Velvet by Andrew Mowry. I was in the store on my birthday. My boyfriend took me out for ramen, and we went to a cafe. We just had a really good time, and then afterwards I was like, I want to go to the yarn store because my favorite of my local yarn stores is very close to where we were. I was like, I want to go to the yarn store, and I had specific things in mind for, like, if I find this, I'll get it. I didn't, so I just looked around for some sort of treat for my birthday, and I found these two colors of Madeline Tosh. The main color here is Aura, and you can't really tell on camera, but it's a very blue toned gray. It's basically the exact same color as oh gosh, Dusty Dove Blue from Knitting for Olive, which is great for me because I have a bunch of Dusty Dove Blue in cashmere, and the project that I was working on is just not gonna work. So I'm probably gonna buy more of this and pair it with that cashmere to make a full sweater. But yeah, it's basically the exact same color as that. It's a very, except this one is very tonal. It's gray, but it's very blue toned. So it's really beautiful. And then the contrast color, which I've already put away, so I can't grab you the full skein, but the contrast color here is Filtered Light. And it's just a sort of like cream color with, it's got navy blue and orange specks. You can only see the orange here, but it's got specks of navy blue and orange, and the bits of blue get really light at some points and are like a little bit close to the gray color, which I actually like. Oh, there's also some black. It's just, it's so beautiful. Such a beautiful colorway. Yeah, that's that. I have modified this a little bit in very small ways. The neckline I thought was too thin, so I just did extra ribbing on the neckline. I think I did a couple more short rows. And because my gauge is a little different, since the original pattern is designed to be knit using a fluffy yarn for the contrast color, but I'm just using a single strand of fingering, so my gauge is smaller, and because of that, I went up in needle size to do the color work, or actually I went up I think 2 needle sizes to do the color work. I went from a 3.5 for the main body, and all the way up to a 4mm, which is US 4 to US 6. It's US 4 to US 6 for the color work. And I also I made this section longer, and I did, in the original there's only supposed to be one of these chevrons, and I did 2. But I just love how it looks. I'm super pleased with it. I was in the store and the yarn just spoke to me. I was like, I need to be a sweater. And they only had 2 skeins of this main color, and I was like, that's not gonna work. And I looked on Ravelry, and Ravelry is telling me this will work. So this is still the first skein, and while it's like not that cute, this is the majority of the skein. You know, I've used less than 50 grams so far. So I have high hopes that it should get me the full sweater, and I'm so pleased because, like, I know it's only August and it stays quite hot here until like well into September, even like into October it stays quite hot, but fall is around the corner and I'm so excited to have like a fingering weight sweater like this, especially knit on big needles. This is knit on, it's supposed to be knit on 3.5s. I'm knitting it on 3.75s, but they're square needles, which are technically smaller than round needles, so it's knitting to the same gauge that I would get with 3.5. I hope that makes sense. Which I've recently discovered square needles. I don't know if you can tell they're square, but I've recently discovered square needles, and I can't tell if I like them yet, but they're what I'm using for this project. So yeah, it's a pretty, can you even see that? Oh yeah, it's a pretty big open gauge for a fingering weight sock yarn. So yeah, that's all of my works in progress. That's everything. And now I have some acquisitions in play. So I'm gonna share with you first what I got for my birthday. My friend Alicia, my very good friend Alicia, got me this skein of yarn for my birthday. Look at it. Look how pretty that is. She knows me so well. Look at that. It's also Madeline Tosh, though this is their sport wave. Wool Cycle Sport. Oh, so this must be, I wonder if this is like a Spin Cycle collaboration. This is Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows, and it's a sport weight. I believe it's just 100% wool. Yes, 100% upcycled superwash wool. That's why it's called Wool Cycle. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love gray. I love a cool gray. Actually, I love all gray. I love cool gray. I love warm gray. I love neutral gray. got these beautiful flecks of these really intense rainbow colors on it. And when I first saw this, I was immediately like, ooh, socks. But I don't know if this base will do well with socks. So I'll have to keep you updated in terms of what I actually plan on making with this, but it is so beautiful. I just love this so much. And if I do make socks, I'll probably just pair it with mohair to make them a little bit stronger. Just love it. And then also, this was before my birthday. My boyfriend and I made a trip to the yarn store a little bit before my birthday. I don't know why. Wait, actually, I do know why. It was because I thought I was going to run out of yarn for this. And then I got to the store and they didn't have the color. So I was like, let's make it work. And I did make it work. But because I have a problem, I couldn't walk away from Remix Light and not buy any of it because I just love it. I love it so much. So I bought myself these 2 colors. I bought more than just this, but these are the colors that I bought. I want to say a total of 3 skeins of this and 1 skein of this. And this is, oh crud, they don't have the colors on them. Well, the color is, this one is number 6982 and this one is 6901. It's just a really beautiful, like, ultramarine bright blue. It is a different color than I used to knit my Weekender crew. It's a different color. And this one's like an oatmeal-y cream color. And they're so pretty. They're so, so, so pretty. And I'm planning on knitting with this, the Tulip Sweater by Lindsay Deegan. Here it is. I am gonna, like, modify it. I don't know, modify is maybe a strong word because I'm not gonna change, like, the stitch count or the construction, really. But I'm only gonna do the color work on the front of the body. And I think I'm also gonna skip the color work on the sleeve because I don't like the color work motif on the sleeve quite as much. And it also means that I'm going to have to knit flat and seam the sleeves, which I don't want to do. I don't want to do. So it is intarsia, meaning it is knit flat, but I don't mind that for the body. I just don't want to do that for the sleeve. So yeah, that's the plan for this. And that should be like a fall knit. I'm very excited. I actually already started it, but I started it the wrong size. I am going to have to restart, but yeah, I'm probably not going to restart until I finish one of the things currently on my needles. So that's that. And then finally, this is only one of, I put everything so far away. Okay. Only one of the things in the quantity is a new acquisition. Actually, is this even a new acquisition? It should be. I don't think that I've talked about this yet. I don't think that I had this. No, I don't think that I had this during the last episode, but I bought a sweater's quantity of Cascade Heritage, which I love. I love this stuff for sweaters in particular, because you can get so much of this yarn. It's beautiful fingering weight, nylon, wool, gorgeous, gorgeous yarn in loads of colors. You can get a whole sweater's quantity, at least for me, for like $60. It's great. So I got a sweater's quantity of this to pair with this and this to make another pink velvet because I really enjoyed the knitting experience of this chart, and in fairness, I planned on knitting this one before I started the other one. And now this is also Gaddy Yarn Co. Tabby Sock, but this is the colorway Castiel. So these two match. These are two like matching colorways, which I think is so cute. And also, by the way, I know what you are. Like, I know what you are, Ashley, because the Dean and Castiel colors are the only 2 colors in the entire collection that are dyed in this style. I know what you are. Anyway. So they kind of match, and so I want to do color work sweaters with both of them, and I have a bunch of this. I don't have a bunch of it. I have 200 grams of it. And I've never done anything with it because nothing just felt right for it. And I think that it would pair so well with this. And this is Hearts on Fiber Baby Yak Blend. They only make it in this colorway, I believe. I don't think they dye it. I have a friend who works there, and she said that they do custom dye orders, so I may be able to, in the future, if I really like this, I may be able to have them dye it a different color for me. But this is 42% baby alpaca, 13% extra fine merino, 10% yak, and 35% silk. And so it's sort of like a mohair. I think it looks more like mohair than Surrey to me, but it is so soft and wonderful, and it does not have that yucky hairiness that mohair has, in my opinion. It's like fur. It's like fluff. It's so nice. And I think that these two are going to pair really well together and be the main color for this. It's beautiful. It's frosty. I'm sure it'd be really nice for like Hanukkah time or New Year's. beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, that is everything. And I just wanted to say once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming back after I've been gone for so long. And I really, really hope that you stick around because I do have some other quite exciting, interesting videos planned for the rest of the month, like up into the fall, kind of, that I'm really, really excited to share. And I also hope to actually keep up with the podcast for once. Yeah, I'm so happy that you were here today with me. I hope you had fun because I certainly did. And happy knitting. Bye bye.